In this video I'm going to show you how I cleaned the inside of a very filthy motorcycle tank. In this case it's a Suzuki GS550 L which I'm working on, and I saw a few videos on YouTube to do this in a very conventional way by using vinegar, which you put into the tank all the way to the top and leave to soak in your tank for a few days. And after pouring out all the vinegar, you're supposed to rinse your tank with distilled water and baking soda, and that supposedly neutralizes the effect of the vinegar. Today I'm going to pour out all the vinegar and see how filthy that is, see how clean the tank is on the inside, and afterwards I will rinse out the tank with distilled water and also using the baking soda. So let's get started. Everything you see here in this pail came out of this tank, so it looks terrible. Now I do have one slight issue. As you can see, the tank on the inside is completely clean, but here on the rim we do have a little bit of a problem. So I'm going to get an old toothbrush and use some vinegar and also clean this rim before actually rinsing it with distilled water and soda. Right, well, this is the distilled water and the baking powder after the first rinse. It's still very filthy, so we're going to do it a second time. Well, this is the second rinse, also using the baking soda again. So now I'm only going to use a bottle of distilled water and see what the result is then a third time. This is the third rinse with only the distilled water. It's getting cleaner and cleaner, but it still has some residue. What is the conclusion? Using vinegar and distilled water and baking soda to clean the inside of your filthy motorcycle tank. Well, my bottom line conclusion is that it works. It worked fine for me. But I do guess it depends on how filthy the inside of your tank is, which determines the amount of times that you need to repeat this process. So for me, one time was enough to fill the tank with vinegar, after which I rinsed it out multiple times with distilled water and baking soda, and eventually only distilled water. So in that sense, it works. What about the costs? For me, the costs were about 50% compared to readily available chemical products which should do the same. So in that sense, also from a cost saving perspective, this is an interesting way to clean the inside of your tank. Now, I do have a few tips for you. Number one is to fill the tank all the way up to the rim with vinegar. This is something I didn't do. I filled the tank up just below the rim, which created rust around the rim where you fill your gas tank. And I was able to clear off this rust, which was superficial, with a little bit of vinegar and an old toothbrush, but it's not necessary if you fill it all the way up to the rim without having it flow over onto your tank. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is to frequently rinse your tank afterwards until you get pure, clear water coming out of your tank. Then you know that it's clean. And a last tip is make sure that the inside of the tank is absolutely dry. I shot a short video on the hair dryer, which I took from my wife, which she didn't really appreciate, and it worked absolutely fine. And you could just have it standing there for maybe 15 or 20 minutes to completely dry the inside of your tank. So that's also a very important aspect. But with regards to this way of cleaning your tank, as far as I'm concerned, it works. I would say give it a try. Thanks for watching.